Hello, a mysterious person behind the screen. Back on Bond again. I'm once again joined by Isaac.
Look me up. I'm a slasher. I must be stopped.
um, and today we're going to be doing Timothy Dalton's first outing as James Bond, The Living Daylights. So, without further ado,
If you'd like to sync this up with your own copy of The Living Daylights, put the film at the start and press play in three, two, one, go.
The Living Daylights. Always an odd film for me. I never quite know what to make of it.
I really like it. I mean, I think I'd put this in my top 10
Really? Oh,
Bond
interesting.
films. Yeah, because I
Ah.
really love the first hour of it, which obviously we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the way Dalton does the gun barrel.
Yeah, same. It's sort of strong and
The
powerful.
music's kind of weak, though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
the
kind
music's
of
a little bit weak. It's like me.
yeah, that's kind of a lot. I feel like that a lot with this, to be honest. The music and everything, apart from the main song, which I love, and the
Mhm,
way that's worked into the score, I always feel like the music is a little bit sort of overly restrained, kind of.
mhm. Yeah, I love the way his Bond is introduced because
Yeah.
at first we don't see his face. We don't know which double O agent he is out of these. And once the villain or the thug is revealed, Bond reveals himself and stops him.
Mm. Yeah, I love it too, and especially because we coming off 7 years of Roger Moore. It was a
Yeah.
well, not 7 years, 7 films even. So, coming off so long with Roger Moore, it you had to do something special for this reveal in particular because it was such a change, and
Mhm.
they pull it off. I really love this opening sequence. I think it's great.
Plus, I like how it's a training mission as well.
Mm.
You could argue that this is this Bond's first ever mission.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, because this is the kind of the first time that the series almost reboots itself, kind of, because it's the first time that you get
Hmm.
Bond looking younger. With the previous actors, they all sort of aged naturally, and then we ended the last Roger Moore film when he was in his sort of mid 50s. So you could
Hmm.
very much say, oh, this is the first kind of reboot, and especially with the change in Moneypenny and everything.
Gotta love how the paint's pink.
Yeah, it's quite striking though. It's a striking like color.
Yeah. Would have
It
made more
stands
sense
out.
if it was red, but I suppose
Yeah.
MI6 we're going for a cute phase.
Yeah, you kind of think, oh, is this our new Bond? Is that our new Bond? And then they also kind of get picked off, and it's like, oh.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it comes a bit late where I think one of the guards says, "Hey, I shot you. You're supposed to be dead."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal.
It is.
Yeah, because right from the start, it sets the tone for this film pretty well.
I
I
think so,
suppose it
yeah.
was a bit of a whiplash coming. This was only 2 years after Roger Moore's last film, so I
Yeah,
suppose it was a bit of a whiplash.
that's the thing. But I also kind of, I'm not sure if it goes almost far enough. Like, I'm not, so there are points where I think Dalton is kind of, in a similar thing with Roger Moore and Sean Connery. There are things where I'm like, yeah, I could see Roger Moore in this film here, and I don't think it's
Mhm.
necessarily tailored to Dalton as well as his second film was.
Yeah, because with this he's quipping a lot
Yeah.
more.
Mm.
He he looks as if he's having a bit more fun, but with License to Kill, it's a very intense performance that he
Yes,
gives.
I agree. Yeah, the music's great here though. Like I think
Hmm.
the music, the original music is great, but all the variations of the Bond theme I think are a bit lacking.
Hmm.
And this is actually a lot of this is actually Dalton hanging on the truck, which is he was known for sort of saying I want to
I
do
mean,
my
I
stunts.
mean, suppose it's better than seeing the obvious stuntman for Roger Moore all the
Yeah,
time in
yeah,
a really bad wig.
yeah. Roger Moore was especially when you get into his later films when he's looking older and then suddenly the stunt man is about 20 years younger.
Hmm. This was also technically it was the 25th anniversary film for Bond.
Yeah.
He should hit him and say, "Get out of my village!"
Do feel free to spool
I'm sorry, I'll
through.
try not to. I'm sorry, we can't really quote Hot
That's
Fuzz.
the problem. There's going to be a lot of that in this.
Look me up. What? I'm a spy and I must be stopped. Catch me later! The funny thing about Dalton is that he was considered for Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret
Yeah,
Service, but he was 22 and he thought himself he was too young, so
yeah, I
lucky
think
they got
so.
him 18 years later.
I think that was a wise decision to be honest. He looks a lot. He looks great in this. I think, and in the second one. I think he
Hmm.
always looked great as Bond, and he was a great. I think he's a great Bond as well. He's a yeah. I would have liked to have seen him done a third one.
Unpopular opinion, but he is my favorite Bond.
Yeah, I mean, you say like unpopular. I've seen a lot of people in recent years, especially, saying that as well. He seems to have gotten a reappraisal as. I mean, recently, I think the Radio Times did a poll, and he came second, which was it was like the best James Bond
Oh,
actors. Yeah, it
interesting.
was the other day I saw on Twitter, and obviously Sean Connery came first because he always does. But I was surprised that Dalton came that high up. It was
Say
especially
the weakest thing about his Bond is probably him being a womanizer, because I don't
yes,
really buy it.
yes, same here.
Whereas someone like Sean Connery or Pierce Brosnan,
Mm,
I would buy it.
yeah, I agree. So right, this song might be my favorite Bond song.
It's up there as one of my favorites as
Yeah,
well. It's
I
great.
love it. And the more I listen to it as well, the more I'm like, yeah, this is good. This might be my favorite Bond song. I don't know. It's yeah, I love it.
'Cause I'm just thinking of other Bond films. Oh, Art Malik's in this. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm thinking of other Bond films that have a male singer. Because we've got this, A View to a Kill, Thunderball, You Know My Name, and Writings on the Wall.
Yes, yeah, yeah. You kind of think, yeah. There's not. I think honestly, when the ones with the male singer, a lot of the time they're some of the best songs in the franchise. I think.
Hmm.
I mean, because this followed A View to a Kill, and that's a great song as well. So it's that you've
That
got
is a good song. Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard of it.
you've got like two amazing songs back to back in the franchise. I like the title sequence too.
Hmm. Yeah, it's great.
It's a bit different. Well, I say it's a bit different. It's still got all the sort of cliches that had been built up at this point, but I think it's a solid effort.
I think also this is the last Bond film up until Casino Royale to be based on an Ian Fleming story,
Yeah, I think so.
and the title as well.
Yeah, I think other films after this took elements, but they never adapted the whole story.
Yeah, well, Brosnan's era, they're all original, and they definitely feel like that.
Yeah. This is one of the films with multiple songs, isn't it? Because you've got two later on by the Pretenders.
You do, yeah.
Mm.
I think had the series not gone on a hiatus, I think Brosnan would no, not Brosnan. Dalton probably would have done
Yeah,
two more. I think he would have done, say, one in 1991, one in 1993, and then Brosnan takes over in 95.
I agree. I think if it really was the hiatus, I think, that killed his Bond. It is a shame. It's a big shame. Because like you said, I think
Because they did ask him back for I think he was asked back for GoldenEye, but because there were
he
so many
was.
stop starts, he lost interest and just said no.
Yeah, and I don't really blame him, to be fair, because it's that the hiatus between License to Kill and GoldenEye was so sort of, the end of the Cold War and everything. There was this big question about whether Bond was even relevant anymore. So I don't blame him for sort of going, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
I've done my
true.
two. And I think it was wise as well because it would have
It's the
been it's so kind of weird to have the series go on hiatus and then come back with the same Bond as before. I think it was wise for it to just have a
mhm,
new have everything be new.
yeah. I I definitely see Dalton as the Colin Baker of James Bond.
Yeah,
Both
definitely.
did two seasons slash films, and they're considered a darker portrayal of the character,
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, and both weren't
and they're both
necessarily.
involved in a hiatus.
Yeah, exactly, and they weren't necessarily that popular at first, but they've sort of grown in popularity amongst the fan base over the decades, and
I think as when the Craig films came out, the Dalton films, grew in
yes,
appreciation.
yes, absolutely, because in many ways the kind of prototypes for what the Craig films did, or at least yeah. I mean I like I said, there'll be points throughout this where I go, that seems like a Roger Moore thing. I don't think this film goes far enough with it, but you can definitely see that it is
Yeah.
darker and it is very and Bond's attitude, especially in this like opening, yeah, after the title sequence here, it's very very different and much darker. No nonsense, really.
hmm Yeah, it's like to quote Back to the Future. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet,
Yeah,
but your kids are gonna love it.
yeah. I wonder. I sometimes wonder what the next era of Bond will be like, though, because we've had since 2006 we've had dark and gritty. Really, I often wonder whether they'll ever go back to a sort of more light-hearted.
I do wonder. Yeah. Put Bond in space.
Oh, please.
Maybe he'll fight a virus.
I mean, again, I've spoken about the game 007 Legends on the other commentaries, but it's like it is weird in that game when they adapt Moonraker. It is weird to see Daniel Craig going up into space, and it's like,
Oh God.
yeah, because they use Daniel Craig's character model, and it's just him putting on a space helmet and going to space with all the lasers and stuff. It's weird to see that version of Bond in such a ridiculous setting.
hmm Yeah, there's stuff. Bond protecting a KGB general, I think is great.
Yeah.
Because I think this is straight out of the Ian Fleming short story. And I think the second half is more or less what the filmmakers thought of.
Ah, interesting, interesting. Yeah, because I know that this does have sections which stick quite close to the book or to the short story. Or
I mean, this reminds me of that annoying mission on Call of Duty World at War when you had to shoot that general.
uh, yeah, this is very
That
video
annoyed me.
gamey. Yeah, this is kind of video gamey. This whole
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like the general's coming out of the building now. The sniper's in the top window. Shoot her.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to Dalton's Bond being not much of a womanizer, I do think
Mm.
that was a deliberate decision because of AIDS awareness at the time.
Yes,
They were trying to show Bond sleeping with less women.
yes, and it's an example of sort of real world events impacting on the films, but it's never like explicitly
Yeah,
said either.
but by the mid 90s, they seem to forget about that because I think if you look at all of Brosnan's four films, I think he shags at least three women in them.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
You've got opening shag, middle shag, and last shag. The funny thing is, when they put him in the pipe, Bond says to him, "You're the first." So like, so if he dies, you're practically screwed.
Yes.
You think you should have tested it
Yeah,
first?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I like this whole sort of section here is like this mini sort of film in itself. This whole bit, it's a
hmm
nice little sort of sequence to open the film.
It's great, yeah. Because what I like about this film is I love the first half, but I think by the second half it just gets quite complicated,
Yeah,
and I often lose track of what the villain's doing.
yeah, same here. I think it's. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I never really know what to make of this film, to be honest. I'm always
Mm.
like, I don't know. And I like it. I like I say, I do love a lot of this first half. Yeah, you're the first. Well, if it goes wrong, then kind of screwed up there.
You're screwed. Plus, also, this film is the first appearance of I can't remember the actress's name, but we get a new Moneypenny for the first time.
Yeah, Caroline Bliss.
That's her name, yeah. Because who played the first Moneypenny?
Lois Maxwell.
That's it, yeah. Because she'd done it for 23
Mm.
years. I mean, that is a
It
lot.
is. It's hella impressive, and I do think it was time for a new Moneypenny because she was getting on a bit in A View to Kill, but it's yeah, it's it's a shame that Caroline Bliss isn't great. I think she probably could have been great, but
Yeah.
the character, the way she's written, is sort of everything that Lois Maxwell tried to avoid. So obviously we'll get to her when we get to her, but like the big thick rimmed glasses and the sort of stereotypically, the stereotypical secretary. Um, it's a shame.
Earthquake. Do they still have this pipe?
I don't
Or did
know.
they ever have this pipe?
Well, that's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's actually real. Oh, here's Q. I didn't know. I forgot Q was in this so early. Apparently it's an actual thing. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Can you put people in it?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh wait, no. Hang on. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, it is a real thing. It's more used for like gases and things.
Hmm. Was this when Desmond Llewellyn's eyebrows looked really, really thick as well?
Yes, yeah. This is around the time that Desmond Llewellyn was getting on a bit, but he's still got a few films left in him.
Hmm. Well, it was like 73 when he did this, and by World There's Not Enough, he was what, 84,
Yeah,
5? Wow.
yeah. And I've said before, world is not enough. He didn't die of natural causes. He died in a car crash. So who knows if he may have even come back for as a cameo role in future films.
Imagine if he made it to Skyfall.
Yeah, would have been insane. I do really like Ben Whishaw as Q though. Like I think he echoes Desmond Llewellyn very
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
I think he's good. John Cleese had a damn good go, but he didn't really get. He only had those couple of films to really show what he could do as Q. But
Yeah, he would have been a good Q. It's
mm,
just he only had one and a bit.
he's good in the games, to be fair, because he does reprise that role in the games of the time, and you can see in his performance in that what he would have done with the role in the films. He's very sort of he's good.
On smoking here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, someone did correct us in the On Her Majesty's Secret Service commentary.
Yes.
Brosnan does have a cigar in Die Another Day.
Yes, yeah, I forgot about that. But
So his quip at the start of Tomorrow Never Dies, where he punches the guy who's smoking and says, "Filthy
filthy
habit,"
habits.
makes even less sense.
I quite like this Q Lab. We don't see it again after this film, but it's quite like it sort of echoes the Connery era ones, but it's its own sort of thing. And
It's a shame Bond doesn't use the radio rocket launcher we just saw.
yeah, it is a shame. Barry Manilow. It's an odd line. Yeah, so this bit
Yeah.
where she sort of sighs and straightens her glasses, like Lois Maxwell went on record like before this and said that's the exact kind of thing that she was trying to avoid when she played Moneypenny. So it's
Okay.
it's a shame that sort of Caroline Bliss just came in and did that stereotypical thing, really. But I'm not sure if it was her fault. I think it was more how it was written.
So we've got Necros, the big
Mm.
hulking henchman for this film, and Oddjob has his hat, Jaws has his teeth. Is this guy's trademark headphones? Because I swear he kills quite a few
Yeah,
people with the wires.
he kills quite a few people with the music of the Pretenders, enough to kill anybody.
Imagine the job interview for that. So what makes you think you can help me attain my goal for world domination? I can strangle people with a headphone cord. You're hired.
Wonder what he's like in the old henchman hotline that Drax rings up in Moonraker.
Oh God.
Bet he's got good reviews. Oh. Timothy Dalton mentions foie gras, which Roger Moore was notoriously against.
What is foie gras?
I think it's. I'm not actually sure. It's something to do with like birds, but it's Roger Moore was always very against it because of how cruel it was. Um, so it's interesting that
Okay.
yeah. So it's interesting that in his first film, Timothy Dalton mentions how good foie gras is. It's a specialty food product made of the liver of a duck or a goose.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, there are videos on the
I
internet.
think what Necros should have done. I think what Necros should have done here is disguised himself as an old man and say, "Ooh, aim is dark. I've
Ooh.
been driving this milk round for 50 years now."
And then he should have gone in and dressed up as a cleaner just to complete the ensemble.
Yep, a woman cleaner.
Ah, that would have been wonderful. It's surprising that I don't think he's in this. It's surprising that old General Gogol isn't in this, considering that it's all
Yeah,
about.
that is a
Yeah,
surprise.
considering it's
When was
focusing
his
on.
last appearance?
Ooh, I think it was Octopussy, maybe. I don't think he appears
Hmm.
again after that. I mean, because this would have been quite a great final film for him, because it's focusing on like the Soviets and stuff.
It would have, yeah. Yeah, I think this film in particular, it's probably the last one to have, the Cold War be
Mm.
central to the plot.
Oh no! Apparently, Gogol is in this.
Oh,
I cannot remember him being in this. Yeah, apparently he's in the last part of this, which is interesting. So this must have been his last appearance.
tell you who would have been a good Bond henchman? Lurch from Hot Fuzz.
Yarp.
Yarp.
Oh
In fact,
yes.
Rory McCann who played him, he easily could be a Bond henchman.
I think
He's
yeah,
massive. He's like 6'8",
absolutely. Like it's wouldn't look out of
and he
place.
and he played a brutal killer on Game of Thrones as well. So
Did
he'd
he?
definitely be a good choice.
Ah, yeah.
In fact, the funny thing is, his character in the Game of Thrones books actually does turn mute.
Oh,
And I just
really?
thought, oh god, he actually has turned. Yeah, he actually has turned into Lurch.
Yarp.
I mean, I know why Necros is beating this guy up because he doesn't say chowder right. Say chowder!
Yeah.
Never! I'm gonna enjoy this!
Oh, I watched that episode the other day,
Oh my
actually.
god! Someone's taking a bite of the big Rice Krispie square. Oh yeah, and the waiter's been brutally beaten. You've got to tell them, Billy. You've got to tell them for Bond. Okay. Well, Bond, Billy is dead. They slit his throat from here to here. Hey, I'm trying to eat lunch here. Killer milk
Exploding milk
bottles.
bottles. Ah ha ha. Classic.
Yeah, that does seem something out of a Roger Moore film.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's like, it's kind of tonally wise, it's kind of serious, but there's also things like exploding milk bottles and things, so it doesn't quite gel, but it's
Yeah.
it's still fun to watch exploding milk bottles, to be fair.
Wonder where this house is. Because it looks nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It reminds me of the house in that one Sarah Jane Adventures episode with the ghosts.
The is it called the Eternity Trap?
Eternity Trap, yeah, that's it. It
Something
reminds
like
me,
that.
yeah, that's it. It reminds me of the house in that.
It's the parrot from For Your Eyes Only. Give us a
Give us a
kiss.
kiss.
Thank you. So all these protections and fake and attacks, they're all faked to throw suspicion off Pushkin, am I right?
Yes, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah? No, sorry, Koskov, not Pushkin. Don't know why I said that.
There, yeah. Yeah, of course, because Joe Don Baker's in this, isn't he? As one of the
Hmm.
villains, and he'd return in the first two Brosnan films.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to spot Art Malik. I don't think he comes in till later.
Yeah, I think he's in the whole sort of desert section.
Yeah, because he was in the Ghost Monument, ironically,
Yes.
another desert
Yeah,
location.
that's true.
Oh, I love Bond's Aston Martin in
Yeah,
this.
it's cool.
It's
I
gorgeous.
love it. It's cool.
Shame it blows up though, like
Yeah,
the first time after he uses it.
yeah.
Doesn't Skyfall kind of make a nod to some of Q's gadgets when I think he says to Bond, "What were we expecting? An exploding pen?"
Yes, yeah. It makes a sort of well, Skyfall, because it was the 50th anniversary film. There's a lot of references to the past in that, even just little subtle things, and I still pick up on new references like every time I watch it. So
Yeah. The funny thing is, the first Bond film to celebrate like a decade, or being in the decade of an anniversary year, was Die Another Day for the 40th anniversary, because
yeah,
the 10th, 20th, and 30th there was no film.
and Die Another Day was
I mean, I think the most Bond got for a 20th anniversary, the most Bond got for a 20th anniversary was a Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert special when
yeah.
they looked back on all the current films.
They yeah. Where does this guy go? Does he is he stuck in the sofa now?
Probably, yeah.
He's just stuck there forever.
Comes back out and he's like, comes back out all ragged and dirty, and he's like, "Oh, those gears down there really hurt." Yeah, I'd argue in this film, Dalton is more like film Bond, whereas in
Yeah.
License to Kill, he's more like Ian Fleming's Bond.
Yes, because again, he's definitely trying to pitch it as less of a obvious departure from the others. Like he's still trying to be the more of the womanizer in this, and that's actually as much as I love License to Kill. One of my issues with that is that they do kind of force like the love triangle in that. So I just don't think his Bond was suited for the womanizing aspect really.
Mhm. Then again, Ian Fleming's version of Bond really isn't that much of a womanizer, because he more or less, he's quite misogynist. Well, very misogynistic, I should say,
Yeah.
I think, in the book.
Well, yeah, very much so.
He thinks the girl with the cello has information. If we bashed your head in, all sorts of secrets could come tumbling out.
Oh god.
Here's John Rhys Davis.
Yeah, I always forget he's in this.
I think there were plans to put him in License to Kill, but either the script, just didn't have a reason to put him in, or he wasn't available.
Oh really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he played quite a few foreign characters in his career, because he played Salah in the Indiana Jones
Yeah,
films.
exactly.
forgot where we are. Are we in Russia?
Yes, that's the thing about this.
Yeah,
It becomes
this
sort
is
of
Russia.
it becomes a little bit sort of I don't know. Yeah.
Hard to follow a bit.
Mm,
Yeah, because if that's Russia, it looks a very grey and monotonous place to
yeah, like
live.
all this is very sort of grimy and dirty almost feeling this section.
Wait, does Dalton's Bond do skiing? I can't remember.
I don't believe he does. He rides down. He rides in the snow
Yes.
with a cello. Does that count?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he does any skiing. I mean, the closest he gets in License to Kill is water skiing
Yeah.
when he's I think when he's chasing the plane on the water.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think of her as a Bond girl then?
Oh, I think she's quite good. I think she has pretty good chemistry with Dalton, but she's not one that comes up as one of my favourites.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's good for this film.
Yeah, she's okay. I mean, yeah, I, like I said, she sort of does in the pantheon of Bond girls. She does kind of fade into the background, but yeah, she's all right.
Hmm.
She's there was a documentary on the Casino Royale Blu-ray about Bond girls, and she hosted it, and she apparently looks,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
she looks back quite fondly on her time as a Bond girl. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, going back to Dalton's performance, him being more like film Bond in this, because he quips a lot more in this one than he does in his next film.
yeah, he does. But I think unlike
Like, we've nothing to declare.
yeah, but I think unlike George Lazenby, where that was a Bond who wouldn't normally quip, but when he did it felt forced. I think this is a Bond who wouldn't normally quip, but I think Dalton
Hmm.
handles the quips quite well, all things considered.
Hmm. Plus, also, Dalton, I think, was a bit more of a theatre actor than he
Yeah,
was a screen actor.
yeah, yeah,
I think he dropped out of his final year of RADA to join um, the Birmingham Repertory Theatre Company.
ah, really? Hmm.
Yeah,
I do kind of like that she's a bit useless in this. That she's just a bit of a
yeah.
nuisance.
Can't go anywhere without the cello.
And I like some of the humour that comes from sort of Bond's reactions to her sort of just being clumsy and stuff.
I do like the variety of locations we get because
Yeah, yeah.
we get like the industrial look of the Russian cities.
Hmm.
We've got snowy locations as we see here, and then later we get the desert, which looks great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a very varied film, really. And I really like this sequence coming up in the snow and everything, and that action sequence. I think that's really the fun fair as well. Later, we get that whole bit at the fun fair, so it's quite a sort of
Hmm.
yeah, like you said, it's quite a varied film.
Yeah, the taxi's like shell comes off
Yeah,
because there's a laser in the tires or something.
yeah,
Yep, there is. Well, at least it doesn't turn invisible.
I like these gadgets on this car. I think the gadgets are really good.
Hmm.
See, stuff like that I think is just the right amount. Salt corrosion. I think that's kind of just the
Hmm.
right amount of cheese. Um, that's kind of
Yeah, this car's so cool. It's such a shame it blows up.
yeah. It is a shame because we only see it for a bit. It's just considering how cool it is.
I know in GTA, yeah, I know in GTA 5 you get to drive a car like this on a mission. I think you have to steal it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's GTA 5.
There's like turrets.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like turrets in the front, and you can drop spikes to, yeah, so cars behind you pop the
yeah.
tires.
Because you have to go in a white tuxedo, don't you? And you have to steal it
Yeah.
from the film set, and then you drive off. It's cool. I
And in fact, quite a lot of the missions in GTA 5 do remind me of the Bond films.
Yeah, yeah, same. I always wish that when you could use that car in the free roam, that you could use the gadgets though, because you can only use those gadgets on the mission. It's a shame. I would have liked to have used it in.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah, I would have liked to have used it in free roam. I feel like that would have been a lot of fun.
In fact, GTA 5, it's practically a Bond film, but from the perspective of the
Yeah,
villains.
it is. The story is very
Because
much.
the three protagonists are awful people.
Yeah, it's and five especially. There's so when they did that when they introduced the director mode, people were making so many like short little James Bond films
Hmm.
from the GTA 5 editor. It was great.
I know someone's done a version of where you can play as Thanos in GTA
Uh,
5. They've done Iron Man, Spider-Man,
yeah.
Superman, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
I know there was a mod where it was like someone did it was like all the planes were replaced with Star Wars ships, and the blimps in the sky were replaced with Star Destroyers, which was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, this car has so much potential that
Yeah, I love how the taxi tries to.
yeah,
Yeah, I like how that taxi tries to recreate
yeah,
the
it
stunt, but
just
it
doesn't
fails
work.
miserably. To quote, I'm going to quote Hot Fuzz again. It's like when Nicholas Angel jumps over the fence and Danny tries to.
What's the matter? Never seen a shortcut before.
What's the matter, Russians? Never taken a shortcut before.
Oh, why did
No,
it
Bond,
blow
don't blow
up?
up the
It's
car.
got so much potential.
Yeah,
And we only see it for about 10, 15 minutes, really.
yeah.
Now we get the cello.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe I take it back. The music in this is actually really good.
It's good,
Yeah,
yeah. The Bond theme's incorporated really well
yeah, I think
here.
so.
Skiing in the Bond franchise at this point became overrated.
Yeah.
Snowboarding is where it's at.
And in a few films, we'll get windsurfing on a tsunami.
Yeah, that's weird. With nothing to declare. Oh, it echoes. Cello,
Jello.
cello, cello.
Have you seen the deleted scene in this section where Bond goes on a magic carpet?
Nope, I have
I'm I
not.
am shocked Dalton even agreed to film it. He's like, it's in the action scene that's coming up, and he grabs a carpet and puts it on this like telephone wire, and he rides it like a magic carpet. I'm honestly shocked he agreed to
Oh
film
god.
it because it's such a Roger Moore type thing, and it's just
Wow.
I can see why it was cut. I think it should be on the Blu-ray somewhere.
Hmm. I'll check it out one day.
Yeah,
This is like Madame
yeah,
Tussauds. But I don't think they have a mannequin of Hitler.
yeah. That it seems a bit. It would feel like there'd be controversy there.
Hmm.
I think he's quite good at playing the villain, Joe Don Baker, especially because of how good he is at playing the ally in Goldeneye and Tomorrow Never Dies. It's a nice contrast.
Yeah, it's weird how in this he's the villain, but for those two films he's an ally
Mm,
to Bond.
mm.
Obviously not the same character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are some people who want to have everything connected that believe it's the same character.
Yeah, not everything has to be
Yeah,
connected.
yeah. Apply that to Doctor Who, and you get a massive mess. So, did Sarah Kingdom suddenly become Morgana 30 years later? It makes no sense.
Is Morton Dill Steven Tyler's great great granddad?
Oh God, Morton Dill.
You come all over in blue spots. What's this thing do?
Oh, it's so bizarre. That is so bizarre.
Yeah, I'm just amazed he was cast as the
Yeah.
companion. Yeah, I've met Peter Purves. He's such a nice guy, but I actually didn't speak to him about Morton Dill.
No, no, I've never met him. I do want to. Um,
Yeah, he's a nice guy. John Rhys Davies does sound very Welsh for Irish
yes,
in
he
general.
does. In a lot of his things, he does sort of go flitter between. This does kind of echo on Her Majesty's Secret Service, kind of like with
It does a bit, yeah,
yeah,
because they spend time together at a fun fair,
yeah,
like Bond and Tracy did at the rodeo, is it?
bullfight, yeah,
That's it, yeah.
and like the horse drawn carriage and stuff. I mean, I find it interesting that John Glenn came back to direct this as well. I would have thought you would have left with Roger
Yeah.
Moore.
I mean, I think he holds the record for directing the most Bond films.
Yeah, he does. I think he did 5, didn't he?
Yeah, he did all of them in the
Yeah,
1980s.
yeah, and it's you think about it, and technically Sam Mendes did that as well because he did the only Bond films in the 2010s.
Oh God, yeah.
He did Skyfall and Spectre, and that is weird. You know, we got 5 Bond films in the 80s and 2 in the 2010s.
Yeah, I think the closest to directing the most Bond films is probably Lewis Gilbert and Terence Young.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Terence Young did Doctor No from Russia with Love and Thunderball.
Mhm.
Lewis Gilbert did You Only Live Twice, Spy Who Loved Me, and Moonraker.
Yes. There's Guy Hamilton as well because he
hmm
did quite a few. How many did Guy Hamilton do?
I know he did Goldfinger. I can't recall the others he
He
did.
did Goldfinger, Live and Let Die, Diamonds Are Forever, and The Man with Golden Guns. He did 4.
Ah, so he's a close
He's the
second
closest,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, I like this sequence coming up next where they fake Pushkin's assassination to think like that the villains are winning.
Yeah. Mm.
Because even though the British are being duped here, it's kind of the opposite in it's the opposite compared to From Russia with Love, where Bond is more or less on top of things and isn't being duped.
Yeah, it's very. It does sort of. It does have echoes of From Russia with Love in many ways. With the.
hmm
Yeah.
I'd argue For Your Eyes Only is as well because,
Mm. Yeah.
they both involve devices that both sides are after.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame he's not watching an amateur production of Romeo and Juliet. I'm surprised they didn't make this guy Felix Leiter.
Yeah, it's yeah, because he's he
Mm,
pops up a few times during this film. I'm surprised they didn't. I recognise that actor though. I need to look up what else he's been in. What's the character's name?
I can't
Oh
remember.
god.
Oh,
Saunders,
Saunders.
right. He's not done much, to be fair. He's just been in a few plays and things. He's not done anything like TV or film much, really, just little things.
His death that's coming up here is pretty gruesome. He gets killed by an automatic door.
Yeah, it's quite cool though. That must be quite a fun day on set.
I'd say Dalton's worst villain is probably the Swan.
This.
Swan! That's quite a big box for a Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
It's almost like the London Eye.
yeah, yeah. You're right. It's really quite.
Usually, usually it's just like a cramped
Mm.
seat. Necros is selling balloons. Imagine if there was a kid there. I want the blue one.
You're gonna get death. There's that bloody song again.
hmm
God, you're right. They are massive.
Yeah. In Soviet Russia, Ferris wheels eat you. There never was a more tale of woe than Juliet and her love-struck Romeo.
That is quite sinister with the with Necros and the balloons just out of focus.
hmm Nami, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Your wife, a goer. Nami, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, he's got the headphones again.
Mm,
Is that really his trademark?
basically, yeah. With the same song
Well, he
playing
uses
over and
it
over.
to. Yeah, well, he uses it to slam the door.
Yeah.
wishes him thanks, and then
Mm. Oh,
oh,
that is really.
I like how you don't see the body, do you?
Yeah,
I just think you see blood.
it's well done. Yeah, you can see the blood on the glass. He does a
He crushed that with his bare
yeah.
hands. I can't even do that.
He does a great job at selling the anger there.
Mhm. That poor, that poor kid. He's going to be traumatized for life. James Bond pulled a gun on me.
He looked so scared as well. He looked genuinely terrified.
Yeah. Wait till he tells all the kids at school he met James Bond.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah. Message. He'll see Brad Whittaker and be like, he is tenacious, isn't he?
Of course, people always forget that only two of the Bonds were actually English.
That's true, yeah.
Mm.
Roger Moore and Daniel Craig,
Yeah.
because Sean Connery's
Yep.
Scottish, George Lazenby Australian, Timothy Dalton Welsh, Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah, it's here is the deleted scene with the magic carpet. Is that in this whole?
Oh
It's yeah,
gosh.
it's in this whole
If it's
section.
as if it's as weird as you say, I'm glad they cut it.
It's not like, well, it's basically very very Roger Moore. It's about on the level of the gondola scene from Moonraker, where it's just like, oh, for God's sake. But it definitely doesn't fit with the tone of Dalton or this film at all. Because if you look at interviews around the time, Dalton was very much saying that he wanted to make this. He wanted to portray a Bond that was closer to the novel.
Definitely.
And I think Roger Moore didn't go and see this one in the cinema because he didn't want to have any ill feelings towards Dalton.
Yeah, that's understandable
Yeah,
because I think when you leave such an iconic part and you've
yeah,
done it for so long, it's hard to see someone else do it.
and especially with
It's like when Peter Davison left as the Doctor and Colin Baker took over.
yeah,
When he saw, Colin sit on the floor in his costume, he's like, "Oh God, I've really left this now,
yeah.
haven't I?"
I mean, especially with the same crew being kept and everything, it's not like it must have felt a bit odd for him.
The funny thing is, if you look at Timothy Dalton's Wikipedia page, it gives two separate years as his birth year, and I don't know which one to believe.
There's quite a few celebrities that have that, isn't there? Because yeah,
Yeah,
they don't they don't necessarily like their birthday sort of being public knowledge.
well, it reminds me of that joke from Family Guy when Brian dates an older woman. Peter just grabs her and shouts, "How old are you? How old are you?"
Reminds me of when the official Doctor Who Twitter said happy birthday to Jodie Whittaker, and it was like 10 days early or something.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then everyone was like, wait, is it her birthday today or not? Because they did the same post again, like 10 days later. And oh, God. Apparently, this film was actually in very early stages of development, was meant to be a prequel, which is similar to Casino Royale.
Oh really?
Mm,
So not a direct adaptation, just like
yeah.
early years Bond, something like that.
Yeah, basically. Which makes a lot of sense because obviously you're going for a younger actor and everything. It's makes sense. I know. Again, obviously, Pierce Brosnan was considered for this as well, but because of Remington Steele, it was couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Well, funnily enough, I think if Brosnan turned down GoldenEye, the second choice would have been Paul McGann.
Yeah.
And apparently Pierce Brosnan was considered for Commander Maxwell in Arc of Infinity.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah, we could have got him as the Sixth Doctor. Imagine him in that coloured coat.
Oh, you don't even know what a Peary is, do you, Perry? Then maybe you shouldn't be living here.
I only need to look at the graveyard to see that. How can the boatyard make that assumption? I need to save the Brosnan impressions when we get to his film.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I think I've already overloaded this film with too many Hot
Hot Fuzz
Fuzz
references.
quotes.
Someone's playing a drinking game. Drink how many times that we reference Hot Fuzz,
hmm
you'll be dead by the halfway point.
hmm He's being chased here. He should grab a kid and say, "Stay back,
Yeah.
Ginger Nut. Get it? Ah, you little fucker!" Have you seen the it's not technically a TV friendly version, but they filmed like a TV friendly version of the swear words for Hot
Oh
Fuzz.
yeah, yeah,
Have you seen that? It's on the Blu-ray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright does
I
that a
just want
lot.
I just want to do car chases, proper action and
Yeah.
silt. It's all about car chases or silt. Peas and rice.
Edgar Wright does that a lot, and I think it almost is like a joke. Like there's
Yeah.
one for Scott Pilgrim, and every time the word ass is used, it becomes owl. So it's like,
Oh. Well, no. I think when ITV2 once showed Shaun of the Dead, at the start where Ed says, "Can I get any of you cunts a drink?" I think
oh yeah,
in the TV friendly version he says, "Can I get any of you fucks a drink?" Well, that makes it any
yeah.
better.
It's basically the same
And also,
gist.
they might as well have. I mean, the way it's said, they might as well have just bleeped the word cunt because he just says, "Can I get any of you fucks a drink?"
Yeah, they might as well have just yeah. Well, yeah, there are some edits that I see on like ITV and stuff, and it's like that could have been done better. That could have been a smoother edit. And it's like,
Yeah, TV edits always annoy me.
mm, Some of them are funny though, like how bad they are. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr.
Yeah.
Falcon. Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer. Ah, of course. Here's Felix.
Ah, there he is, Felix
Yeah.
Leiter.
Whoever plays him in this isn't great. He's very, very wooden.
Yeah, no wonder they brought back the older actor
Yeah.
from Live and Let
David
Die
Hedison.
for License to Kill.
Mm. I think in here it's John Terry, I think is his name. Well, you've got me, James.
It's almost like he doesn't know what his accent's supposed to be.
Yeah. And he's not in it for that long either, so.
Yeah, literally could have been anyone.
Yeah.
I told you, in Soviet Russia, we tell you.
Yeah, all these sets do sort of start to look very similar now in this film. Like they all kind of blend together in this one.
Mhm. Just realised she shook that drink, she didn't steer it.
Yeah.
I like how in Casino Royale they make a joke of it. Vodka martini, please. Shaken or stirred? Do I look like I give a
Yeah.
damn?
It's almost like a mission statement there, isn't it?
Yeah.
He plays this quite well. This whole
Yeah.
drug thing. It was the.
I'm seeing double here. 4 crusties. I mean, when Bond was, when he shot the sniper rifle out of her hands, what if he kept missing? You know, she kept hearing a gunshot and being like, what
Oh,
keeps
what's
doing
that?
that? Wait, Jerry Bondon?
Yep, Jersey
Is that his real
Jersey
name?
Bondov. That's one of my favorite.
Oh, Jersey
Yeah,
Bondon.
that's one of my favorite. Like I don't think it's meant to be funny, but it's just funny to me that
Yeah,
that's the name. That's the disguise. Is Jersey Bondov? Oh, I wonder who that is.
it's like it's like Dr. Von Ver, I think, in the
Yeah.
Highlanders.
Handle like eggs. Yeah, I see what you mean about like hard to follow. It's just there's a lot of things that just sort of introduced, and the whole heart thing now. It's like
Yeah, because from what I can remember, it's like something to do with opium
yeah,
that they want to sell. I
yeah, it
don't
is.
know.
Yeah, it's quite convoluted.
Hmm.
Though the whole plane thing, it does lead to a great action sequence right at the end, like
It
hanging
does.
off the plane and everything.
Yeah. I mean, once again, there's a mission in GTA 5 where you've got to land
Yes.
a smaller plane inside of a weapons
Yeah.
plane.
Oh, that's so cool.
Though the funny thing is, you use like crates for cover when enemies are firing at you, but as soon as you move, it falls out of the plane,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, shouldn't that have fallen out earlier?
Yeah. I think we're about to see where Art Malik is introduced.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, this whole bit in the prison, I'm not sure if
Yeah, it does drag a bit until
it
we get to the
does. Yeah, it
climax.
does. It feels like an unnecessary detour, really.
Yeah, I felt if you shave like 10 or 15 minutes off this, it would have been a bit of a stronger
Yeah,
film.
I agree. I agree. What's the shortest Bond for? It's Quantum of Solace, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it's only like an hour and 45
Yeah, it
minutes.
is. Well, that was obviously a victim of
Didn't Daniel Craig have to, yeah, the
writer's
writer's
strike.
strike?
Yeah,
Did Daniel Craig more or less have to help write it?
yeah, and he's admitted since that he's not a writer, and yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. For me, that's the weakest Bond film I've seen so far because, the plot just feels boring and
mm,
I honestly can't see what is going on
yeah.
most of the time in the action scenes.
The direction is terrible, and it thinks it's really clever as well. Like it's very pretentious. I don't hate the
Yeah.
film. I can. I think
Yeah, neither do
yeah,
I.
because it's so short. I think it just sort of breezes by, and you don't
I
really.
prefer. I mean, quite a few people have said, "Oh, I prefer Quantum of Solace over Spectre,"
Mm,
but I'm like, no, I prefer Spectre. For all its faults, I do prefer Spectre because at least I can see what's going
I
on.
agree. Spectre is better than Quantum. It's yeah. It's just Quantum of Solace is unfortunate. It's just such a disappointment after the strength of Casino Royale as well, and especially because it's a direct sequel to that, like
Yeah,
following on 10 minutes from the end of Casino Royale.
yeah, it's a shame they didn't make Mr. White the main villain because he like
Mm,
escapes after what the first 20 minutes,
yeah,
something like that.
I thought it was great that they brought Mister White back for a Spectre though. I thought
Yeah.
that was great to sort of close off his story because they've still never released the alternate ending to Quantum of Solace that was filmed. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Originally, it was meant to end with Mister White's assassination, and they filmed it, and it's there's proof that it's been shot.
Ah,
But they've never ever released it because that's how the end of Quantum of Solace, the game, is. It ends with Bond spying on Mister White and saying, "I'm going in," which implies that that's the original ending of the film.
oh.
Yeah, I wish they'd released that one day, but I'm not sure they ever would now that Mister White's got a proper ending in Spectre.
Mm. Yeah, it'd be like in You Only Live Twice, Bond's hunting down Blofeld and he comes across, I don't know, a still alive Donald Grant who'd
Yeah,
failed in his mission and is now in hiding.
that's the thing. It's similar. To be honest, it wouldn't really surprise me if that actually happened because, as we said in the From Russia with Blood commentary, the Connery films were kind of they were more concerned with continuity than later Bond eras were.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to do that with the Craig films as well, but it's clear it wasn't planned out from the start.
Yeah,
Because they didn't even have the rights to use Spectre and Blofeld, I think, until at least 2013.
yeah, and I really dislike.
I think that's when it was settled in
Mm,
court.
and I really dislike the implication that Silver was just someone who was being manipulated by Blofeld too. Silver in Skyfall is not someone
Hmm.
who's working for another person. In Skyfall, it's very much
Yeah.
the intention is very much Silver is an individual entity working for his own gain.
Hmm. Yeah, be a bit like in, say, Alec Trevelyan in GoldenEye. They say, oh, all this time he was working for someone
Yeah,
else. But no, because his mission is very much personal. It's
Yeah,
revenge.
exactly. And with Silver as well, the fact that it's one of the best villains purely for how like character, like that's his the conflict is squarely
Hmm.
based in the character and the conflict between M and Silver. And I think to take that away and go, oh yeah, he
Hmm.
was a part of this organization, just it undermines a lot from Silver.
Yeah. Yeah, this bit drags. Whenever I watch it,
Yeah,
I'm
it
just like, get
does.
to the plane.
Controversially, this film wasn't really widely distributed after 9/11 because people
Yeah.
didn't want to see
Hmm.
Bond teaming up with people from Afghanistan, which is a little bit uncomfortable.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This whole thing, like, it feels like we've just had this scene, like 10 minutes ago with them in the hotel room. It's
Hmm.
like, I don't know, because this is 2 hours 10, isn't it? So, I feel like if you just cut 10 minutes off this, you'd have a solid
It is.
2 hour
Yeah.
flick.
Hmm.
I don't think the direction is that inspired in this either. There's a few like nice shots, but I'm not sure. It's all it parts of it look quite flat, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, John Glenn could kind of direct these Bond films in his sleep because he was so, you know.
Definitely.
So I
Yeah.
think it's
Hmm.
just a case of him just sort of running on autopilot, really. Because when you get to License to Kill, his
Hmm.
direction is
This is art.
it's Art Malik, yeah.
Hmm.
You get to License to Kill, his direction's so different and much more violent in that. I feel like he had a good time sort of pushing the franchise a bit.
The funny thing is, License to Kill feels like it feels as much as I really like the film, it definitely feels like the least Bondish, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
because um, it's all set in like America and can't remember where else it's set, but there's no scenes in England, funnily
yeah,
enough. I think it's the only Bond film where they didn't film anything there.
yeah. I think there was a reason for that, wasn't there? It was like a some strike thing. Um, but
Possibly,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Well, I know a few years before this film, didn't Pinewood Studios have a fire?
yes, I can't remember what because on one of the documentaries on the
It might have been A View to a
I think it was
Kill.
that one, yeah. Pinewood Studios, it was a massive fire. There's pictures of it, and it was huge. So yeah, but yeah, I agree. The License to Kill feels a lot like something like Die Hard or something. It feels like an American action thriller, which I know
When did Die Hard come out? Was it 85?
88.
88.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
License to Kill
And
was the
License
year
to Kill was
after.
a year after.
It's it reminds me of like American thrillers like that, which I know puts a lot of people off because they very much consider Bond the British institution, but I don't know. I think it's a nice change of pace for one film.
Yeah, because I know Calvin Bond reviewer. I know in
Mm.
his original reviews of all the films, he wasn't the biggest
Yeah,
fan of Dalton,
yeah,
but he might have changed his mind. I don't
he
know.
has. Yeah, he really hated License to Kill early on because I remember watching his reviews when they were first being uploaded when I was really young. and he really didn't like License to Kill. And
Blasphemy.
yeah, but he's changed his opinion over time, and yeah,
Hmm. I know he's redoing all his old Bond films because he recently
yeah.
got up to Moonraker, so I suppose we'll find
Hmm.
out.
I think when he did his ranking video, it came quite. I think it came higher than this. So
Mm.
I like that because he did the updated one from Moonraker, but he kept one of his old jokes, and I was like, oh, that's nice. He reused one of the old Looney Tunes segment that he did. Also, I feel like the ending of this. Oh, that's a cool shot. Um,
That is a very
yeah,
nice
it
shot.
is. For me, this kind of ends with the big plane set piece, but then of course we get that bit with
Hmm.
Bond going to kill Whittaker and stuff, and it's like one of those things. It just feels like it ends too many times. It's like not as
20 climaxes like
Return of the
Return of the
King,
King.
yeah. Well, John Rhys Davies.
Oh yeah. If Bond shoots down a plane, get him to show up and say, that still only counts as one.
Yeah. The Lord of the Rings films are films I watch very rarely. They're not really my thing. Like I like them, but they're not like I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. But yeah,
Blasphemy.
yeah, I know. I get. Oh, every time I say like I still. It's not like I don't like the films. Like I do like them. It's just yeah, not really my thing. But I do own them on Blu-ray though, so that's I'm not I'm not a madman.
The extended cut or the theatrical
Just the
cut?
theatrical cut. I haven't seen the extent. I've seen the clips from the extended cut, like the isolated scenes, but I've not seen like the extended cut all the way through of any of them.
It's a lot that, for me, they improve the
Yeah.
films a lot. They include a lot more in
Mm.
them.
I've seen the extended cut of The Hobbit, of the first one, the first Hobbit.
Hmm.
That's the only extended cut I've seen of the franchise.
I own all 6 films in their extended cuts
Nice.
because I'm insane.
Nah, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I envy the
Yeah.
people who can go on like the Middle Earth franchise. They can like um watch all the extended cuts back to back. Like the people who do that, like respect.
Well, we're getting an Amazon TV
We
series
are,
now.
yeah. This is true. This is very true. I'm interested to see how that will go actually, because I think we're far enough removed from the original films that I think it will be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do the series
Mm,
justice. The sad thing is, though, with the Hobbit films, at least, they really screwed over the New Zealand film
yeah,
industry.
Lindsay Ellis's video series
Yeah,
on that is interesting.
yeah, it's quite
Mm.
depressing.
It's one of those things where it's like I do enjoy the Hobbit films because they're just a bit of fun, but then I think about them and I'm like, hmm. After watching,
Yeah,
yeah, after watching Lindsay Ellis's videos, I'm like, hmm.
So this is all the opium, isn't
Yes, it is.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All this just, I find myself thinking, sort of, get to the point.
Yeah, we don't need to see every
Yeah.
last detail.
Though parts of this do remind me of Indiana Jones, with like the desert setting and
Yeah,
everything, and the
definitely.
trucks.
Well, yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom had come out at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't try and capitalize on it a bit
Mm.
more, like they did with Moonraker and Star Wars.
Well, that's the thing. I think because Indiana Jones was kind of inspired by James Bond as well, it'd be like the two
Hmm.
franchises battling out. It's like I'm always surprised at how big of a gap there was between Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking of other things Spielberg did during that time.
Hmm. What did he do? He did. That's a good point. Actually, I can't actually. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe a part of the big gap was the violence of the Temple of Doom, because people really didn't like how violent that
Yeah, and he
was.
felt that, yeah, and Spielberg felt quite dissatisfied with
Yeah.
it, feeling he'd strayed too far from, yeah, the spirit of what Raiders of the Lost Ark had
What?
been.
Yeah.
So
He was.
that's why for Last Crusade it was very much back to
Yeah.
basics. So he's fighting Nazis again.
Well, it was very well with Temple of Doom. He was going through a bad patch in his life, and that kind of is reflected by how dark
Hmm.
Temple of Doom is.
It's his own inner
Yeah.
mind.
I really don't know what to expect from Indiana Jones 5, though. I have no idea.
Well, the funny thing is, at a convention, Harrison Ford was asked by a fan, I've noticed you've been in new versions of
Mm.
Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and now Blade Runner. Are you trying to be in every. Are you trying to come back to every famous franchise you've been in? And he said, You bet your ass I am.
I really don't know what it's gonna be like, because Spielberg isn't directing it, is he? I think didn't they confirm that he's left? That he's like only producing it now or something?
I think so, yeah.
Which I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like Indiana Jones and Steven Spielberg go together.
Yeah, because he's handed over the reins of Jurassic Park and
Mm.
actors. The other funny thing is, he only did the first two Jurassic Park films.
Yeah, that's true.
Curses foiled again. Should have said that. The house just flattens by a small bulldozer, and you've got naked men
Yeah,
running
that's
out.
bizarre, isn't it? That is a bizarre little
Hmm.
bit.
And people accuse the Bond films of just
Yeah.
objectifying women. That digger was coming so slowly towards them,
Yeah.
they probably ducked and were just like, what is the freaking hold
Yeah.
up? Yeah, I really like this climax because you've got a mix of like modern and old because you've got people on horseback, like almost like a cowboy film.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's very yeah.
But as you say, yeah, this might be the closest film we get to it being similar to an Indiana Jones film.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly like aesthetic wise, all the iconography is very Indiana Jones.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, all this with like the horses and the yeah, it's cool though. I do like this whole climax. As much as the setup drags, the actual payoff is really cool.
Hmm. That's a big explosion for a small grenade.
Yeah, yeah. The explosions here are kind of mental. Like they're really big.
The general was probably like, "Oh no, I just made my last payment." Oh, keep quoting The Simpsons and Hot Fuzz. They should probably make a drinking game out of it.
Oh god, well, you know this be dead by the halfway point of these commentaries.
Hmm. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I like how the music, the main theme, The Living
Yeah,
Daylights, comes back in the
yeah,
climax.
same.
It's such a nice theme.
It's great. Oh, is this when she drives along the alongside the truck and Bond's trying to tell her what to do, but she can't hear him?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like go under. Yeah, something like that.
And she's just looking confused. Da, da, da. Oh, it's great. I love it. I love the song. Yeah, here we go.
Reminds me of that scene from Liar. Yeah, reminds me of the
Uh,
scene from Liar when he's banging on the side of the
yeah.
plane and shouting, "Max, I made it!"
She looks so useless.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
"What?" Again, it feels like GTA
Yeah, it
5 copied
does.
off this. Drive along the runway and get into the plane.
It's cool though. It is really cool.
Hmm.
That's an impressive
Wow,
stunt.
that was close.
That's a really cool stunt.
Oh,
still alive.
Eh, Wait, how are you still alive?
Oh, sorry, he's got some burns.
Just a flesh wound. This is where, yeah, this is when Necros meets his demise, I
Yeah, it
think.
is. Because this is great when they're hanging out of the edge of the plane on the net and everything.
Bond has turned into Netface.
Wah, 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 wah.
No one can silence me but me. That arranged can be. If I know me, he won't like being kicked in the crotch.
Yeah, this is great, this whole bit.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like actual stuntmen hanging onto the edge.
Yeah, it is. That looks
It's,
so
oh man, yeah, look.
dangerous. And she's practically
Yeah.
making it worse for both of them. He makes one of his other famous quips here. He got
Got the boot, yeah.
and enunciate.
I'm trying to stay in
And
character.
Enterada.
Mr. Pricklepants.
Oh god. Imagine Bond having to stop an evil bear who smells of
An evil
strawberries.
bear who smells of strawberries. I always, with these bomb like ticking clocks in films, I'm always counting in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
I tried to do that the other month when I was watching The Dark Knight Rises, and it doesn't work. The Dark Knight Rises the bomb at the end of that, it flip flops between the seconds so much.
Well, I was watching Revenge of the Cybermen the other day, and the Doctor gives the Vogons 15 minutes before they can fire off their rocket.
Yeah.
At one point, one of them says 7 minutes. Then, literally 30 seconds later, they say 5 minutes. Yeah, here it is. No. Reminds me of the ending to Chicken Run.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, the Age of Steel more or less took its climax
Yes,
from Chicken
it
Run.
did.
Because they cut the rope for both Mrs. Tweedy and the cyber
And the cyber controller
controller,
falls down
and
into
they
the
fall
fire.
into an explosion. Yeah.
Oh god, that stuntman looks like he's being put through the ringer there. Like being launched up and down.
Yeah. He actually landed on his
Yeah,
back
that
there. That's
looks
gotta hurt.
painful. I like that the bomb's still there.
And it's... I think last time we saw it was at 1 minute 40, so it'll go off in about 5...
There you go. It's pretty accurate.
Oh, he turned it off.
Yeah, it's fairly accurate.
There it is. Was she not looking where she
Oh,
was
she's
going? Because
useless.
she clearly had to see those mountains.
Oh god.
She's just not that good in action
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah, it's not like she annoyingly yells for help or
Yeah.
just goes,
She's
James, James, save me, but she just doesn't do
she
much
leans
either.
more into the endearing side of stupidity than the annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, she asked him where you're going. Then first time it's to stop a bomb.
To
Now
drop a
it's to
bomb.
drop one.
Nice little parallel. I mean, we're getting near the end of the film. Like, there's only 10 minutes left of the film, give or take, and it's kind of
That's
like
true.
it's still kind
Yeah.
of, and he's still got to stop Whittaker and everything, and
Mhm.
God, I forgot about this with the fuel and everything as well. Don't they drive out in the car? Yeah.
Mhm. Surprised she doesn't say, Jeep, we're not driving, we're crashing! Oh, that looks speeded up,
Yeah.
that.
That would still probably give you a massive case of whiplash, even if that looked like it
Yeah,
hurt.
you'd probably be flung
Yeah, wow,
backwards
yeah.
onto the runway and splattered all over the
Yeah,
floor.
absolutely.
But I buy it.
It's a Bond film. Yeah, see, that felt like the ending of the film to me, but we've still got this whole section.
Yeah,
There's a
it's a bit
picture.
like in Goldfinger, they stop his plan, but then he comes back for one last
Yeah,
time.
it's like an alien as well. She detonates the
Hmm.
Nostromo, gets off the ship, and then the alien pops back up for one more jump scare.
He's like Mr.
Yeah.
Burns when he gets the sunblocker. Take that, Bowlerella. Take that, convenience mart. Take that, nuclear power. Ooh, fiddlesticks. Ah, so he's going to use the opium for
Mm.
money. Fair enough. I think that's kind of the problem with this film because it's very much a film of deceit and counterplot. You don't really get the plot until you don't really get the villain's main plot until the very end,
Yeah, exactly.
and there's not. And unlike previous Bond films, there's not many clues to lead you in that
Mm.
direction.
It's really like, oh, he's destroying his whole little office thing that he's got here, his collection.
And he uses a mannequin to blow him up. He might as well be the Nestine. He might as well be the
Yeah.
Nestine consciousness from Doctor Who.
It's a cool death. It's another example of this film just
Yeah,
introducing sort of another tangent that it goes down.
yeah. I like how the gadget that Q gave him is what he uses to defeat
Yeah,
Whittaker.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it comes back, doesn't it? So
Hmm.
he met his Waterloo. Georgi. He sounds like Salah here from Indiana
It does,
Jones.
yeah. Hmm. Put it back in the
Yeah.
orchestra.
Yeah, and we get another song to play out the film, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, the reason Bond and Cara don't stay together is because she goes on tour with the orchestra
Hmm.
and they lose touch.
Yeah, here's Gogol.
Ah, there he is, yeah.
He should have had a bigger role in this than he does. He should have had a
hmm
much bigger role.
Yeah,
Maybe it was a thing about availability or something. I don't know.
probably, yeah.
The music's good here, to be fair. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, definitely. And it comes back again, the
Yeah.
keyring.
Set up and pay off and all that. I don't mind.
Yeah, I think Cara's
Yeah, gone.
the only woman he sleeps with in
Mm,
this.
yeah. A response to what was happening at the time. I
hmm
quite like this song, to be fair. It's quite a.
Yeah,
It's
it's pretty
alright.
good.
It's. Yeah, it's just it's a standard sort of ending to a Bond film, isn't it? The Living Daylights is very much just a sort of standard Bond film, really. Um, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd say it's an attempt to kind of think out of the box a bit by having a plot that's a bit more not as straightforward as it
Mm,
seems, which I can appreciate a lot.
yeah, I agree.
I really like the deceit plot, the fact that Koskov is playing both sides
Mm,
here for his own ends.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
But yeah, I just think getting there neat was quite sloppy,
yeah.
but it's still a really good Bond film, I
Yeah, I think you,
think.
you like it more than I do. I do like the film. I'm just always sort of like it's never one I go back to watch often. Only really if I'm doing like a marathon of the series.
Yeah, I'd regularly go back to License to Kill when it comes to Dalton's
Yeah,
two
same here,
films.
same here. That's always the one I go straight to. Um, but yeah, I don't mind
hmm
the film at all. It's just it. There's a lot of things in there that I think could have been done differently or tightened up or smooth lined. I wonder if there's like a fan edit of it online, maybe. But yeah,
I'm not too sure, but you never
I'll
know.
have a look around. But yeah, the credits are longer this time. So we're getting into that era of longer credits now.
Yep. hmm
All the product placement.
Because earlier films, it used to be, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's like Die Another Day got the nickname Buy Another
yeah, it
Day
did.
because of all the product placement. James Bond will
I don't
return,
think there's anything, is there?
but it's
No,
no. I don't think they say what the title
no.
of the next film is.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the commentary, everyone. That was The Living Daylights. Next week, me and Isaac will be back with.
We will be diving into the Brosnan era with Tomorrow Never
Yes,
Dies.
indeed. So look forward to that. As always, I will link Isaac's channel in the description so you can go and subscribe to him. Sorry. Thanks for doing this with me, Isaac. It's been fun.
Very fun.
Uh, I'll
Now, and we shall see you all next
indeed you
time.
do. Bye bye.
Bye bye. 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 bye, 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 bye.